welcome to Tony Time. Well, we have another wonderful guest on our show today. She is from Ward 5, new on the City Council. Amy, welcome.
Thank you, Tony.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. So how does it feel to be on the City Council?
Well, I'll tell you, it's very, it was a surprise. I was not expecting that at all.
Really?
Yeah. It was very kind of the mayor to appoint me to the seat. I'm good friends with Victoria, who I am replacing, and I think he saw us as good fits. So she got elected. I'm essentially just serving as her surrogate for this end of her term, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you will...
Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty tight together anyway, politically. But yeah, I attempt to fulfill her vision, at least for the end of her term, and if I seek another one, then maybe I'll venture out a little on my own. But for now, I'm going to try. I'm going to try and just do what she would have done.
Great.
Since she's the elected representative of the people, and nobody knows who I am.
I know, that's why you're on the show.
Yes, thank you.
So, Ward 5, okay, that encompasses what area?
So essentially, if you think about the river, it's the whole downtown from Alfred Street to Elm Street, that strip of Main, and then forming a triangle that goes out toward 5 Points, and it stops a little bit before you get to 5 Points.
Okay. All right.
And there are little, strange incursions here and there, and, am I on this side of Alfred Street or that side of Alfred Street? It's a little wiggly. Okay. But that's the basic geometry of the deal.
Right. So are you originally from Maine?
I am originally from Maine. I'm from up by Augusta, a little town called Reedfield.
Okay. Yeah. Born there?
I was actually born in Wiscasset. But I grew up in Reedfield, went to public school there, and then went to UMaine Farmington for my undergrad. And then I moved to Southern Maine when I was headed for law school. So I went to UMaine Law in Portland.
All right. So now, during that time, you know Maine, you know the Mainers, you know...
Does anyone really know Maine?
No, I don't think they do. I'm still learning different things.
Aren't we all?
But you're still here. What made you stay?
Well, I didn't exactly stay. I did go away for a time. Okay. So when I was an undergrad at Farmington, I participated in an incredible program called the Maine Public Policy Scholarship. That's a program in which one kid from each campus of the university system is given a little money and some credit hours to spend 2 academic years working on an area of particular policy interest to the state of Maine. And my area of interest was first-generation college students. How do we get them to actually succeed in college? And then how do we get them to stay in the state of Maine? Because we have a serious brain drain problem where kids like me with educations are tempted to go away from here. Yeah. And I was so lucky to have Angus King as one of my policy mentors, and he gave me the best piece of advice I've ever gotten, which is that this is an incredible place, and if you're ever tempted to go away so that you want to come back. Oh. And he was absolutely right. So I spent a few years away, and it was great. It gave me a lot of perspective on Maine, but this is a very unique and interesting place.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm very proud to call home. So it was nice to come back. And my whole family is here. Yeah. My sister, my mom and dad. So it was good to be local again.
Local again. Well, now, you did live in New York for a while, correct?
I did, yeah. Yep.
Because you know.
Brooklyn.
The audience knows. So you lived in Brooklyn.
I did, yeah.
So what took you to Brooklyn?
Well, a few things. One was work. I graduated from law school in the middle of the recession, so 2009 I graduated, and there weren't a ton of jobs that suited me here. And I had been here for a long time, and I was 24 years old. 24 is a great time to be full of ideas about how the world should be.
Yeah, true.
And I wanted to go and see some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like my vision was pretty narrow of what the world was. And so I wanted to get out of here and get a cool job. And I did.
And you did?
Yeah, I did.
Wonderful. So you work for a very well-known bank.
I do. I work for Citibank. I'm a vice president there.
Great. And so now, I mean, we're living in Brooklyn, and they said, well, you're moving, and they said, work from home.
They did. That's exactly what they said. And that was the kindest thing they've ever said to me.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So my office is in Manhattan. I work kind of all over the world, really, in a little niche part of the bank in the back office. And I'm very privileged to be able to do that from my house in Biddeford.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really strange, but incredible.
Well, you know, though, when you work from home, you have to be very structured.
You sure do.
And I know that I had always, I mean, when I started my company, I started from in my apartment in New York. So you need to get up at early in the morning as if you're going to get dressed, you're going to go out, but you're really only moving over 3 feet.
It's true. I find that getting up in the morning and going out for coffee forces me to be part of humanity and put my clothes on and look like a person in the world. Yeah. And then I get to interact with people. I'm usually at Elements in the morning, grabbing a coffee. Sometimes I stay and work from there, which is fantastic. And sometimes I have to buzz right home for conference calls and things, but it's a good motivator for me to look like a person and not just wear my PJs all day.
It takes a lot of discipline.
It does. It does. It also takes discipline to stop working, in my experience.
Yeah, true, it does.
I'm a very driven person, and I have a hard time saying, well, if I just spend another 15 minutes on this, then I'll get that done. Well, once that's done, I can do the next thing. So it's important for me to say, it is now 6 p.m., and I am finished, and put it away.
Have you found that, I mean, I know when I owned my talent agency and dealing with talent across the country, my time zones, 6 o'clock
6
our
o'clock
time,
where?
it's 3 o'clock in LA, so I still have 3 more hours.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you find that? Yeah.
It's funny you should say that. I'm actually dealing with a deal in Sydney, Australia right now, and they're 14 hours ahead of us, which means that at 4 p.m. my time, it's 8 a.m. tomorrow, their time. So I start getting a whole new series of phone calls, and it's important that I turn my cell phone off at night because my office phone rolls to my cell phone. Oh. And so if the kids in Hong Kong need something from me, I don't really want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, there 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole time zone thing.
It's weird.
It is weird, and that, I mean, I was kind of conditioned when I got up in the morning, I would start with New York, and then 10 o'clock would be Chicago, and you would roll out the rest of your day that way. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
It's a whole different world.
One thing that's wonderful for me about the city council is that it really does force me to pay attention to the hours of my day. I have a lot of meetings in the evening, and it's nice to be able to say, I'm sorry, I have to stop doing this work at 5:45 p.m. because I have to go downtown, start a whole other job.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So now you and your partner bought a house?
Yes, my lovely wife and I purchased a house in Biddeford a year and a half ago, a little more now. Yep, right downtown, kind of by Pizza by Alex.
Okay, all right, great.
Yeah.
So your mom is living with you.
We did adopt my mom.
You adopted her. Don't you love that?
She is a wonderful addition to our household. It was great to be able to have her come and join us.
Oh, that's great.
She was ready to retire. She needed to have her knees replaced. And we said, well, we bought a house that's way too big for us. Right. So come and stay. It's great.
Perfect.
I have snacks being prepared for me throughout the day, and she can always walk the dog if I'm on a conference call. So it's perfect. It's a fantastic sharing of resources right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So was your mom a career woman? Was she?
So my parents, I grew up by Augusta. My dad is a musician and still is. He plays out all over the place.
Wonderful.
And my mom was the bar manager, bartender, sometimes waitress of Slate's in Hollowell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, my whole childhood. So I was out in restaurants and bars a lot.
This is why you have that wonderful personality.
I suppose.
You're a people person.
I am a people person.
And to grow up in that environment is great.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yes. It makes you comfortable with everyone. And
You've never met a stranger.
no. I never do meet strangers because my parents know every single person, at least in Kennebec County and probably beyond. And so the vast majority of people I meet in the street say, "Oh, aren't you so-and-so? And I knew you when you were this tall." And I say, "Great. Who are you, though?"
I need to know who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I was little then.
When I was 4, I wasn't
Yeah.
really putting names with faces.
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
So, what is your wife's name?
My wife is Alexa Plotkin.
Alexa. What does Alexa do now?
She is a research assistant at the Cutler Institute at the Muskie School at USM.
Wow.
So she works in domestic violence and violence against women prevention. Yeah. I know.
That's
It's
pretty.
the heavy
yeah,
stuff.
it's the heavy stuff.
Before that, she was at Habitat for Humanity, and she managed the Restore in Portland.
Okay.
Which was super cool. So
Yeah.
she was salvaging building supplies from houses that were being demolished and taking in, if you have leftover tile from a tiling project, you'd take it to the Restore and they would resell it for a very discounted price and use that money to build homes for people. That was fantastic work, but boy was she tired at the end of the day.
That she was.
Very excited that she has an office job now.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah, I'd say, "Do you want to go to this concert tonight?" And she would say, "Well, I walked 10 miles on a concrete floor, so I'd like to lie down."
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we do a lot more in the evenings. It's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
So, you two, how long have you been together?
We have been together for almost 4 years, and we have known each other for almost 10.
Wow.
We were friends for a long time before we started dating. Yeah.
My goodness.
It's good.
It
It's
sounds
great.
like you have everything. You've worked hard.
Yeah.
Both of you have worked hard.
Very true.
Your mom has worked hard.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hard work in our story, but we couldn't be happier. I think it's a great position to be coming from, to finally think like, okay, I know what my life is and where I'm headed, and I feel really good about it.
And
It's
that's
fantastic.
because of your background.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I grew up in a restaurant, a greasy spoon. My grandmother had it. I grew up in that restaurant with all the customers and truck drivers coming in.
Yep.
And I became a people person. Because at a young age, you do when you're in that environment.
I think it also keeps you very calm.
Yeah.
My parents both are very calm under pressure, and I have a weird high-stakes job, and I'm almost never flustered because you just have to figure out a way to get through tough situations without
do.
panicking.
You do.
Or yelling at anyone. Never yell at anyone.
You can't,
either.
no. Yelling at anyone does not solve the problem.
Nope. Never has, never will.
It never will. No, talking about tough situations.
Oh, yes.
When you're dealing with people, I think, for example, at City Hall with the parking issue,
Sure.
everybody has something to say. And I've watched City Council take everything in. They're hearing the public.
I believe that they are. Yeah.
They are hearing the public.
Yes, definitely. And I am hearing the public, despite the fact that I didn't vote on any of the changes for the parking, for example. So I sort of came into that as an existing kerfuffle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely think that the City Council is hearing people. And I think it's important for everyone to try and just take a deep breath. There are a lot of issues with resource allocation in a city government. And nobody's going to get everything that they want in any situation.
In any situation.
Because we only have so much money, we only have so much space, we only have so many people. And so the more we can stay calm, the better the outcome is.
I think so too. And I think it's wonderful the council has a day where they don't respond, but they let everybody say what they want to say. I think that's very good because, I'm in my little room, the woman behind the curtain.
You are indeed.
And I'm listening as much and I'm watching, and I know my short time videotaping the council meetings, that the council does listen.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that does take some of the heat out of debates, especially when we can take a little time. But I do think that there's a lot of value in having a discussion, particularly on this issue. There's a lot of misinformation out there on this issue. And so, for example, in last week's public town council meeting, city council meeting, folks said some things that were based on factual assumptions that weren't correct. And so in that situation, I do worry, especially with the public audience of those forums, I wouldn't want someone to say something at a city council meeting that was incorrect and then have that get amplified instead of being corrected. So there's always a pro and a con to everything. But I do think that it's important that we have a real discussion about parking where people talk and we answer, because I have found that when people have come up to me very frustrated about the parking, the vast majority of times I've been able to say either, oh, that thing that you're worried about, that's not what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening, and here's why. And then we talk through it, and they may still have concerns, but they're they feel heard, they feel like they understand what's going on a little bit better.
That's important.
Yeah.
That is so important.
Communication, communication, communication.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about. And it's important because people can read something in the newspaper, and depending on their mood, is going to be how they interpret what is being said.
Yeah.
But to have a one-on-one conversation makes a difference.
Yes, it's a fantastic form of government.
Yeah.
To have someone available to hear your concerns and help you with whatever you need.
Exactly.
It's a unique system.
Wow.
Very valuable.
Well, I want to flip and go back in time.
Sure. Here we are in the past.
You were a little girl.
Sometimes.
You were a little girl.
Yeah.
Growing up. What kind of child were you?
I was the kind of child who talked so much. For example, I learned to use the phone at a very early age. I think like 3.
Oh.
And they had to teach me how to tell time so that I would not call my parents' friends and relations at, say, 5 o'clock in the morning when I got up and no one else was up.
Okay.
I was a loquacious child and very excited to talk to grown-ups, less so my peers. I feel like I've just gotten comfortable with the children my own age.
Oh my.
I liked grown-ups better.
Now, are you the only child?
No, I have a sister who's 7 years younger than I am. She's a public school teacher in Westbrook. She teaches 6th grade social studies.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's wonderful. She's doing the much harder work.
I can be trying.
Yeah. Middle school? No thanks.
Oof.
I wouldn't.
Tough one.
I would have a hard time at that.
So now tell me, okay, so you were a very energetic child.
Facts, yes.
So what, I mean, before the show started, Amy had shared with me that she worked in theater, and you know that's right up. So
I wouldn't say worked. I never got paid, but I definitely did a lot of community theater, yes.
So where did you find the love for that?
My parents fostered that.
Really?
Yes, my father is a performer.
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop. So when I was a little child, he would just wander around the house humming Fiddler on the Roof. We watched a lot of movie musicals.
Yeah.
And as soon as I had the opportunity, I was up on a stage talking to somebody. I also went to a lot of public hearings as a child.
Public hearings?
When they wanted to clear cut the North Woods, I think I was like 10, and I was at that public hearing as a little child with strong opinions. So
You spoke up?
I sure did. Yeah.
Did you
I may
really?
have been the tiniest person. I remember that they had to have me stand on a stool behind the dais. I couldn't have been more than 10.
Do you remember what you said?
Yes. I said that that clear-cutting the North Woods would be a long-term loss for a short-term gain, and that I hoped that they would not sell my future to timber developers. And I made them all cry, and they wrote about me in the Christian Science Monitor.
Oh my. And you were 10?
Yeah. And now here we are. It's,
Wow. Wow.
Teach your children well. You got to watch them.
You have to watch
Or they'll
them.
become politicians by accident.
Okay, Amy, you do not call family and friends.
Don't do that. No.
Don't do that at 5 a.m. Oh my goodness.
Incorrigible.
So now when you were in grade school, high school, and all of that, I mean, were you involved in like the newspaper? Were you involved in this or that? Or did you just kind of do your own thing?
I did a lot of theater. There was a while there where I was doing 6 productions a year, and dance classes and voice classes and the band and the show choir. So that's mostly what I did.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
It shows, though.
Performative nerd. Oh, thank you.
It shows.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Tony.
No, it's a good thing.
Why,
because
thank you.
Conversation is very colorful with you.
Oh. Why, thanks, I guess.
That's a compliment. It really is. It's very colorful.
Great.
I mean, you create a vision.
Oh.
So when you're talking about going to meetings at 10 or whatever, I can just visualize you.
Yep. I don't think I've changed at all.
I don't think
In
you
fact,
have either.
My wife
just met
carries
you.
my wife carries a picture of me that's my 4th grade school picture, and I look almost exactly the same. Same haircut, like a flannel shirt. It's just, she shows it to everybody. Look exactly the same.
Oh my. You're one in a million.
Hey, thanks, Tony. So are you.
You really are.
Might be like 1 in 5 or 10 million.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But I am just enjoying you so much. So now, with you, I'm sure life is very colorful.
It's very busy right now. I'm on a very strict policy of no new meetings unless I can drop an old meeting. My wife says that I have entirely too many meetings. So right at the moment, it's a very busy life because we also have a historic home that we're working on and trying to fix up. Wow. Yep. My mom is with us. We just got a puppy. We have a 2-year-old dog, and we got a puppy, and he takes a lot of our time as well. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. Busy. But good busy.
Okay, so you bought a historical home.
We did, yeah.
So are you doing complete renovation?
No. We love history a lot. We're definitely history nerds, and our home is spectacular. It is just such a beautiful piece of Biddeford history. We want to do as little to it as we possibly can to keep it in its original condition. So it's a 6-bedroom, single-family brick house. Wow. It's probably one of the few big houses in the downtown that hasn't been turned into apartments. And honestly, when we saw it, it was only on the market for about half a day.
Really?
And we saw it and said, we have to get this house to make sure that it stays happy and wonderful forever and ever and ever. So we sort of feel like we've adopted our house more than we bought it. Okay. And it's going to be 200 years old in 10 years. So our goal is to just spiff it up so that we can have a very glorious 200th birthday party for our house.
Okay, here's a question I have to ask.
Go for it.
Do you have any spirits or ghosts?
You know, I'm with you that there may be spirits and ghosts. I'm going to say that publicly. But our house feels super happy. You walk in and it just feels like the happiest family home ever. So if they're in there, they
They're
like
happy.
us.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. The same family owned the house from the time it was built until 1917. And so there's a ton of history there. I'm sure a lot of people have been born and have died in that house. And if they're still there, they're very happy.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
That is great to hear. You know, I have to ask those questions.
That's, everybody asks that question. When
Good.
you buy an old house, literally everyone says, but is it haunted? And I'm going to say no.
Okay.
It's not haunted.
Or they're happy and they're quiet.
Yeah, they may be very happy and very quiet. I have no inkling of anybody being in there who I have not invited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Wood Island Lighthouse?
Not terribly
Biddeford
familiar.
Pool.
I know that it's there.
Yeah.
I haven't gone into it or anything. I've just seen it from afar.
Okay. They've done a
Is
ton
that
of work.
haunted?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me everything.
I
Tell me.
will. Darling, I will. Yeah, they've done a lot of great work on it.
Wonderful.
Anything that they changed, renovated, they found either a refrigerator that went back to the time.
Yeah.
So they've really put a lot into this.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe 4 years ago, they had this to spend the night on the island.
Ooh.
In September. And the ferry would take you out, drop you off on a Saturday night at 6 o'clock, and pick you up the following morning. So it was a group of us of 6, 7 people.
Wow.
They had the ghost hunters there. They had 2 mediums there.
Yes.
And myself and I think 4 other people that are very into this. Mm-hmm. And we were told to bring a sleeping bag or a lawn chair to lay on.
Yeah.
And so Saturday night came, Light Runner, which is the name of their boat, dropped us all off, and he left until the next morning. Mm-hmm. And it was such a wonderful experience.
Cool.
We went into each room. The mediums, the ghost hunters, had all their equipment going. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of spirits in there.
Wow.
A lot of ship captains, they had a lot of crashes on that island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of ships crashed there in the 1800s.
Sure.
So you had a lot of that still on the island. And the old lighthouse keepers, there's a family that they will show up from time to time, a husband and wife, who lived there for, don't know exactly how many years. But, if they wanted to go to the grocery store, the Coast Guard would come in once a month.
That's a hard way to live.
And they'd go to the grocery store, come back, and be back on the island.
Yeah.
And they're lovely people. So they really, from time to time, they'll come to the island when there's a tour. But while we were there, I didn't want to go to sleep.
For fear of missing something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
And we went up to the top of the lighthouse. Mm-hmm. And there was about 5 of us up there around the light, standing there, because it's very
narrow.
thin.
Yep.
And narrow. And, of course, you had to close your eyes because the light,
Oh, right. Is blinking.
Yeah, so you had your eyes closed. And one of the women said, "Someone's pulling my hand." And she's the sort of person, she's a skeptic. So, of course, she would not say that unless it was really happening. So, of course, we go down, we went into the kitchen area, and there's like a picnic table there. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning now. And the medium took a glass upside down. It was like a Ouija board. You put your finger on it. Well, that glass went crazy.
Really?
Crazy. And it kept going to the person who's been taking care of the lighthouse, kept going to her. Well, we finally figured out it was a ship captain who buried coins on the island, gold coins.
All right.
And gave
Treasure map.
us longitude and latitude of where they are.
Did you find them?
No, nobody went to look. I know, I
Tony.
would have gone. If I understood longitude and latitude, I would have gone.
That's the most disappointing fact I've heard, is that you didn't go and check.
No, we didn't go and check.
All right, I would just like to say, you told me that I'm a colorful conversationalist. Who's bringing up ghost stories? It's all you. You're 1 in 10 million.
Oh, Jesus.
That's true. That's just a fact.
Well, it started all from your house, if it was haunted, which led me to
Oh,
Wood
sure.
Island Lighthouse.
I'm the one.
You're the one who started this. So, that's our ghost story.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not finished with one other part of your life,
Oh, okay.
your theater life.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your favorite production that you enjoyed doing?
My favorite production that I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed doing theater for tiny children very much. Children's theater is hilarious and adorable, and you don't have to do a great job for kids to be super excited to meet you afterward. That's fun. And any time that I got to sing and dance was a good time.
Okay, so what production that you sang and danced in?
I'll
what
say
kind of
Guys
dance?
and Dolls.
Okay,
Guys and Dolls was a really good time.
okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of dance did you do?
Well, I was Adelaide, so, you know, some dancing. I was also a child at the time. I was like 16, I think.
Oh, you would have been so cute. You would have been so
The
cute.
videotape exists, Tony. So it was very carefully done dancing to not be too scandalous, but still get the idea across that we were supposed to be pretend strippers.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
It was a very fine line was drawn.
Well,
around
things
what was
were-
okay and what was not okay.
Yeah. And when you did that, things were not like they are now.
No.
So you really had to toe the line.
But I'm sure that every high school production of Guys and Dolls ever done has been very careful around that. What an odd choice for high school theater.
It is.
But it's a classic.
It is
so
a
we keep doing it.
classic. Wow.
Yep.
So, of course, you have no time now in your life to even play with theater.
I'm afraid not. No. It's a good time, though. If anybody has like a small cameo that they need, I would enjoy that.
Okay. All right, everybody out there. Small cameo, won't take up a lot of time.
Yeah. And also, you have to have like a meeting that I can drop to satisfy my wife. So tell some board I'm on that I can't help them so that I can do your cameo.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Easy. So, we're running out of time. Do you believe that?
I can't believe
It goes so fast.
it does go so fast, but also we could talk forever.
I kind of noticed that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Very rare, very rare. But your energy and my energy really works well.
We're in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for being on the show and taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's wonderful that you do this. I'm going to do a really quick ode to public access. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you to the booth. Thank you for the people who make this happen, because it is an imperative way for our citizens to be engaged with our government. And so this is the best thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that.
I'll
And
keep doing it.
keep doing it. And my mind just went.
That's all right. It's okay.
If there's anything new, I mean, we can do a show anytime.
Yeah.
We
do
could
it again.
We could even do a show like do you watch Absolutely Fabulous?
I have definitely seen some ab fab. Yes.
I think we could do something like that really easy.
But are you Saunders or am I Saunders? No, that's a dangerous road to go down.
I really want to be Patsy.
All right. Fine.
I want to be Patsy.
I accept.
Okay.
I still don't think it's a safe choice for us politically, but
Oh, politically it's not. There is no way it's safe for us.
thank you for the invitation. I
Well-
take it as a compliment.
Yes, definitely, because that friendship and that craziness is wonderful.
It's true.
So thank you, and you'll come back again?
Happy to do it.
Okay. And I want to thank everybody for watching our show today. And I hope you had as much fun as Amy and I did. And
Too much fun.
And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks.